to A Shot of Facts. This is your girl, Deja Renee. And this episode is a shot of the elites with Regine Coney. Yes, the elite. And so Regine is an entrepreneur and author of the books The Elites and France Into the End. And I have both of them here. Shameless plug. Good books. So, and also, shameless plug, we are both Consortium College Prep
Oh my god. Yes, we are.
alumni, class of 2013. So it's been 8 years since I actually seen, I guess, virtually
Yes.
you. So how have you been?
I've been good. I've been working. I've been writing. I've been just getting my little life together. I ain't been doing too much.
Yeah, I see. And these books are so good. Like, I kid you not,
Thank
I
you.
finished them in 2 days.
Oh, okay. A lot of people been telling me like I get a lot of feedback for like both books, and a lot of people tell me like the least was an easy read, and so like for instance to the end, it's a little bit more thicker, but it's still like a really good book.
Yeah, I was kind of like, oh, this is a thick book here, but
Yeah.
I could not stop reading. I could not stop reading.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay. That makes me happy. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So actually my first question, since well really the elites is kind of like a fictional novel, but it's still kind of
Mhm.
centered around friendships in a way. And
Mhm.
Friends Into the End is about kind of like the high school college friend dynamic and the
Right.
goals of just becoming an adult, right?
Mhm.
So my
Mhm.
first question to you is, what is your perception of adulting and transitioning into adulthood, especially from like high school?
I think that literally is just maturity. Honestly, I think maturity is the biggest thing because I think high school really doesn't prepare you for the real world. And sometimes I don't even really think college does. I think experience in the real world, like actually going through the steps, is
Right.
it takes you there. In my way, the way I've done it. So adulting is just being responsible, maturity level, just taking care of what you have to take care of as a woman or a man and getting things done the proper way, kind of thing for me. So maturity and responsibility is adulthood to me.
Right. So, how have you felt your friendship dynamics have changed? Because a lot of my listeners are people in college or people who are
Mm-hmm.
transitioning, like graduating from high school and going to college. So, what are things that you notice about your friendship dynamics from high school to college and now as an adult?
I feel like a few of my friends they have children, and I mean, other than that, it's pretty much the same because as you know, I'm still cool with like, well, I don't think you know, but Jonah and Fatima, so
Hmm.
I'm still riding with them, and we still have a dynamic, and I feel like in general we all have grown up in our own little specific ways. But I think in some manners, like sometimes you still hang out with the same people from high school and college, and then other times like you meet people as you go along. So
Right.
honestly, with my situation is like the older I've gotten, like I've met like two or three other friends that I met like in my adulthood, like working with them and hanging out with them. So honestly, my dynamic is pretty good. My circle is pretty good.
See, and it's so hard for me, honestly, as I realized throughout my life. Like, I have friends now,
Mm-hmm.
like, for example, for people who don't know, who are new listeners, like, I graduated, school in
Mm-hmm.
Detroit, went to school in Alabama, now I live in Virginia. And it's like, I still have friends from even back in high school, but that kind of trickled down for me, living in a different state. I just
Mm-hmm.
chuck it up to, hey, I live in a different state. So
Right.
you're going to lose a lot of friends. But then it's like I went to college and made friends, joined
Mm-hmm.
sorority, and now I'm
Oh
like
yeah.
I'm completely living by myself. And it's like, yeah, I still have friends, I still check in on people. Social media has really helped me like keep up
Mm-hmm.
with people, to be honest with you. But I find it hard to like gain new friendships now. Like I
Why?
didn't I don't know. I feel like somebody who is really just moving somewhere for work, like it's so hard to just find like friends that are people
Mm-hmm.
that you can trust.
Yeah, no, I
And
get it.
yeah, that's the thing for me because I'm more of like we can cool, we can party, we can drink, whatever, but like, do I trust you to tell you stuff?
Right.
I don't know.
Exactly.
And it's hard for
Exactly.
me. Yeah, it's hard for me to find like those type of friends in a whole new state. So I'm still trying to figure that out. What
I
about
think
you?
I don't. I think it's easy for me because I just feel like I'm a friendly person. I may not be the first person to tell you my business, but I'm definitely like, so what you like to do? And you want to go out to eat? You want to go get your nails done? You want to get your toes done? Like, I'm that girl. Like, I don't go out and drink and turn up because that's just not me. There's nothing wrong with it,
Yeah.
but I don't really do it. But I'm definitely like a girl's girl. Like, let's go out and talk about our problems and eat food. Like, I'm that girl. So,
See, yeah, I don't know. I realize I'm not really that social. Like people think because I do the podcast that I'm just a social butterfly. I'm really not. Like, and I'm really
but
trying to figure it out.
in high school, you was still very like, you was talkative, but you was still pretty much the same way.
Yeah, it's. I guess you stick to your ways. I don't know.
Yeah. Ain't nothing wrong with it. You like to be low key.
Yeah, I'm a very low key person, I guess. Yeah. But another thing I want to ask you, because I've seen in your full bio that you put a part in it that mentioned that you were trying to find your passion, and that's what led you to the calling of becoming an author.
Right.
So, what was the transition in trying to find your passion as a young adult?
Um, Honestly, it was me reading other books, listening to audiobooks, and like at a very young age, I used to just write little stories. I always wanted to like type on the computer, things like that. And then like when I literally hit like probably 19 to 20, I started writing stories and trying to like get my own little groove going. I used to write them down at first. And then I bought a computer, and then that situation, my computer got stolen, girl, it's a long story, but my computer got stolen. So yeah, it was a lot of transitioning things for me. Like I had a flash drive for like probably like no cap, like probably like 15, 16, 20 stories. And at first I was just very nervous and scared because I'm like, I don't want people like to say my writing is horrible. I don't want people to like not buy the books. Like it was a lot that I was afraid about, but everything kind of took its place once I finished the story. And then actually, like my publisher, because I'm not published on my own type of domain, so I'm published with someone else. And like I met her, like my nephew's mother, her aunt is a publisher. So that's how I was able to do that. So everything kind of just played out in the perfect way.
See, it's about who you know.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. You are right.
Right. So what is like your steps? I know you explained it a little bit, but like fully for people who are looking to become an author, like what are steps that you took to become an author, from idea to typing it out to getting it published and for it to be available for purchase? Like what was those steps?
Honestly, I feel like first thing is first. People, because I get inboxes from people that ask me like, "How do I do this?" and da da da. And it's just like I don't want to be that person. Like I'm gonna just keep all my jewels to myself. I'm not gonna share with nobody because I'm not that kind of person. Because if I wanted someone's help, I would want them to help me. So my first thing that I tell everybody is definitely finish the book. Don't keep saying you're gonna like write a book. I'm gonna write a book. I'm gonna write a book. Like actually finish the book first.
Right.
And then worry about the other steps, because honestly, getting the book out there is not hard. With social media and how easy it is to upload it on Kindle, is so easy. So that's my step. Just finish the book first, and then keep yourself doing something creative, whether it's music, dance, going to museums, walking around your neighborhood, going to the gym. Like keep your mind juices going and flowing, because I feel like that is where the creative part comes out, and it just comes from nowhere in my mind.
Right. So is it harder to be a self-publisher because you say you went through a publishing like company?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, because you really don't, everything is footwork. Everything is basically like, it's a few people who I don't know who bought my book, and that makes me feel amazing. But majority of the people that bought my book, it's a lot of people that I know. And then it's like, and now like with my first book, it was definitely people I really didn't know. But my second book, it kind of reached out to different hands in different states, the people I never met in my life. So it is very hard because I'm not really like the type of person who wants to get on YouTube and like show stuff off. So I'm really like sacred in that way. So getting it out there to be a self-publisher is very hard, but you got to just keep posting, keep networking, keep trying to put it out.
so is it you have a social media presence like with promoting the book?
No, not really. I wanted to put a video up on YouTube, but I kept messing up. I kept laughing. I felt stupid because I was talking to myself in the camera. So
Yeah,
I
it
just
takes a long time
literally,
to get used to doing that.
yeah, girl. So I'm like, let me just go ahead and delete this, honey, because this ain't looking too good.
Yeah, you gotta do what works for you, honestly. And
Mm-hmm.
word of mouth is also a huge thing too with getting your
Absolutely.
workout. Like, no
Mm-hmm.
matter what venture, either it's from a book or a podcast or a show, you're a comedian, whatever. Like, everything
Mm-hmm.
is word of mouth nowadays. So
Mm-hmm.
that's the
Mm-hmm.
best type of publicity. So another thing I wanted to ask you is, what is the pros and cons have you identified with publishing your second book now? So now you're not even, I wouldn't consider you a new author, because you have two books now, so you're not new anymore.
Yeah. Um, I guess the pros is definitely getting it done because it feels very accomplished. Like you got a project, like it's very, very accomplishing. But the cons, honestly, it's just the doubt. That's the hardest part for me. It's just I don't I get scared that it's gonna be 5 or 10 years later down the line, or I'm 40 years old and I'm not where I want to be in life when it comes to my writing. So that is the con thing for me. Because sometimes I get in my head and I'm like, okay, I'm not going to be who I think I'm going to be in my head. Like, I'm not going to be this person that I'm trying to accomplish to be. So I don't know. But then I think about it like, okay, I already got 2 books out.
Right.
People telling me they love my books. And I already have a club of people who are supporting me. So like, why stop now? Like, it's like with my second book, it's a lot of people who I don't know who bought the book, and that made me feel great. So that made me push even harder, because it's like your family and friends are going to support you regardless. But the people who you don't know, is kind of like these people that don't know you believe that you're putting out great books. So it's like, why not? Why stop now? And then it's just like, it's somewhere I want to be. I don't want to be 40 and I'm not happy with my life.
Yeah,
So,
I feel you. I feel like that's a stem of imposter syndrome.
mm-hmm.
And so, like imposter syndrome, like you feel like you don't deserve where you're at, your success, or you feel like that,
Yeah.
it's not worth it, or you're not worthy enough. But at the end of the day, you put in the work to write these books.
Mm-hmm.
People who, in all entrepreneurship ventures, they do the work, you work hard, you're passionate, you should be happy and proud of your accomplishment, no matter how big or small it is. So,
Exactly.
yeah, I definitely feel like imposter syndrome is something that we all suffer from. But at the end of the
Mm-hmm.
day, you got to realize that you put in the work, and if you get good reviews, it's because you're worth
Yes.
it.
That's the best part about getting the review. It's just like that moment of like, okay, I finished the book good. Like everybody loving it, people supporting it, people like telling me like they cry off of like, Ivy's situation in the book, and then just
Yes.
people like inboxing saying they can relate to Giselle, they can relate to different people in the book, and that makes me feel great. And it's people I don't know. So it's like, and people I do know too, but it's just like, it makes me feel great.
All right, so let's talk about the books now. Since you mentioned some of the characters, so we can
Mm-hmm.
first talk about France Until the End, which is for
Yes.
the people who's looking at it on YouTube. This is the book.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, do you want to
Mm-hmm.
explain to the readers what is France Until the End, and what should we expect from reading it?
Okay, so France to the End is about 4 high school girls in their senior year. And like they start off as these, like, in dynamics of friendship, you have like, you know, the 2 best friends, and then the other 2 who are like kind of like the outsiders. And you have the messy one, you have the sweet one, you have the funny one, you got the one who's like, don't care, gonna do it all, say it all kind of thing. So
Right.
like all the girls have different personalities, but it's just like basically what I feel like young girls go through, where it's like relationships, abuse, like problems at home, problems within their dynamic of friendship, and then being like young mothers, like teenage moms and things like that. So the girls just go through a lot of situations that I feel like a lot of young girls can look out for, or feel like they can relate to, and then try to change that so they don't end up exactly like each girl in the book.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this was definitely relatable. Like, it took so
Who
many
do you feel like you can
turns.
relate to in the book, if you could?
Okay,
Because we went
if
to the
I
same high school. So
Yeah,
I know
can
you weren't
relate.
like none of the girls.
Okay, yeah, not really none, but like I feel
No.
like my friendship dynamic though was a lot like how the four girls was, especially in my college experience. Like I
Okay.
had a like, and no shade to my friends because I know y'all about to listen to this. I still love y'all, but
Go
like
say it.
it's the friend that kind of feel like she's left out. It's the friend that's kind of like thinks she
Yeah.
the leader. It's the friend like
Yeah.
some
Yeah.
some people in the group are more close than the other, and like
Yes.
yeah, I felt that like,
yes.
and if y'all want to know more about what we talking about, you gotta read the book. Man,
Please purchase the book. You have to
please
read the
purchase
book.
the book. And it was so
Yes.
many turns, like when one character got killed, I'm not gonna say who,
Okay.
that I was so shocked. Like
Yes.
I was not expect. I was literally screaming at the book. Okay, I was literally screaming.
Yes.
I'm like,
Yes.
what? It was so well written. Like I
Thank
enjoyed this,
you.
and I asked Regine off of the episode, is it going to be a part two to this? So is it going to be a part two?
I'm thinking about it, but the way I have to swing it, I don't know because I still want to add off work girls to it in their perspectives. So
Yeah.
I would have to put a little twist to it, make it a little bit more out there,
Oh,
you
it
know.
was out there. Okay, that was, and it left with a huge cliffhanger. I'm like, oh my god, like I want more.
Yes, yes,
Like, I'm
yes,
like, what
yes,
happened?
yes. Because I feel like a lot of the situations that, like, I didn't want to sugarcoat it. I didn't want to make it like PG-13, even though we were
Right.
dealing with young girls, 18-year-olds, because a lot of young girls go through these situations and I want them to
Yeah.
really look at it and be like, whoa, like I've been through this, or I've had a guy say this to me, or my friend did me that way. And I want them to actually be able to relate to it and grow from it and change it if they can before it's too late.
No, and now that I'm thinking about it, like high school, I did have friend experiences, like kind of like the dynamic of like some of the characters,
Mm-hmm.
and it just goes to show that some people think that high school girls don't go through nothing, or high school girls and boys
Exactly.
don't go through anything, and it's like
Exactly.
we
They
go through a lot in
do.
high school. We go
You
through a
do.
lot,
It's
and
pressure
yeah,
because you
and
want to fit in.
right,
You want this boy to like you. You want to have friends. You want to be that cool girl. And I think in high school, everything is so big to you,
right,
like everything. Like, and then once you graduate, because now, like the things that we used to care about at consortium, I'm pretty sure we don't give
yes,
a no more. You know what I mean? Like, we don't
right,
care. So it's like, I think that too is important
yeah,
because
and
it's
I
like,
kind
oh,
of
these my
like
best friends. And
yeah,
it's just like,
one of the characters' boyfriend that went to college, like
yes,
he said something that was really good, like basically saying how this right now in high school, you think this is like your world, you think this is so
yes,
important, but when you grow
yes,
up, you go older, like your friend group goes their separate ways, people grow up,
right,
people change, like, and I think that's one
exactly.
of the main takeaways from the book is that throughout high school and throughout life, people are going to change.
Exactly. And that's the whole point of it, of the whole book of saying friends to the end, because when you meet your person in ninth grade, or even when you meet, because you know how kids come and go out of the school, even when you meet
Right,
your person in your senior year, whether it's a relationship or a friendship, you really think like, I'm gonna be hanging with you for the rest of my life. And
right,
sometimes it works like that, and sometimes it don't. It don't even be beef. It just be like, I'm on a different path. I'm going to a different state. I'm going to this school.
right.
I met this new person. Like, it's just a different dynamic where it's not even like anger. It's just more like, I don't know. I haven't talked to you. Haven't talked to me. Like, it's like that.
Yeah, people change, people
People
grow,
change and people
people
grow, and that's
grow.
great.
Yeah. Now let's talk about the elites, because this one is more of like, would you say this is
Yeah,
more of a
girl.
fictional? I mean, I don't even, to be honest with you, it's not really all that fictional, but
Mm-mm.
I feel like it's more far fetched than Friends to the End. So, do you want to explain to the listeners what is the elites?
The elites is just like, I don't know, because I'm really into like the mystery murders and stuff like that. So the least really just came out of nowhere. I really was just writing it, and then it just the story just started flowing. You know, like, so I think that dynamic is a little. I mean, that story is a little bit more. It is far fetched because it's not really a lot of things that I've experienced in life, but I love that secret society kind of flow. I love
Right.
that power of being like, I'm up here and everybody else is down here. But then everything flips, and then the underdog is the one who actually wins. So that's really what the Elise is about. It's about a friendship as well. And it's about actually being able to trust your friend too in the Elites. Like, when your friend is telling you something and they have a bad vibe about someone or something, or to click you with, you might want to listen to that person because they only doing it out of love. Because because the same thing happened with Corinne and Lauren. Like, it was just like she's like, like, these are my friends. Like, I'm up here now with them. Like, I'm an elite now. So why are you so mad? And she like, well, and Lauren like, wait, hold on, they not your friends.
Right. Sometimes it's not hating. Sometimes it's like,
it's real life. Exactly. And then it was just so many secrets in the book. And I feel like the Elise had a lot of twists to it because it's a lot of things you didn't expect to happen with like the other characters. So, yeah.
Definitely. One thing about your writing style, you definitely throw some twist in there.
I love that. I need to get better. I need to get better at it.
It makes the people want to read more, like, for sure.
Yeah.
And one thing I do like about the books too, and I guess because I'm from Detroit, but it's like you use Detroit references, so I'm like, oh, I know where this is at.
Yes.
Like, that's what makes me want to read more too. So, where can we find these books if we want to purchase it, if we want to read it? Where can we find it?
They are on Amazon. All you have to do is type in my name, or you can go to my website and you can literally just click on a link and it's there.
And what is your website?
RegineConey.com.
RegineConey.com. Okay. So, again, first of all, I want to thank you so much for coming on the show and having this little chat. Haven't talked to you in a while. Like,
I know, right?
Friends on Instagram, but it's like actually virtually talking to each other.
Exactly. And it's still love. It's still love. Right. I want you to win. You want me to win. Right. Like, it's always that type of, just because we don't speak don't mean nothing.
And exactly. And really, one thing, I love supporting people I know in whatever endeavor that they do. Like, somebody got a book out, I'm about to buy it. Somebody has some clothes, I'm about to buy something. Like,
right.
Takes literally these books don't cost that much, okay?
They don't. And that's the best part about it. It ain't $20-$30. It's literally $10 on Amazon.
And also, beyond buying, it takes literally $0 to just share a post, to just congratulate, to just encourage somebody that's trying to be an entrepreneur. That's the main thing at the end of the day. So, one thing I also want to bring up, so now we are going into our last call segment. And so this segment is where I let you, my guests, give the listeners parting words or words of recommendation, advice, any last thing you want to tell the listeners.
My thing I would tell someone is literally just don't care what other people think. Follow your dreams. Definitely stay dedicated to what you want to do. Always believe that no matter what anyone says in your circle, outside of your circle, that you can get where you want to be as long as you are persistent and as long as you really, really put your heart into it.
All right, you heard it, folks. Thank you so much for coming on A Shot.
You're welcome.
And lastly, where can we find you again? Like, social media, and also state your website again one more time.
Yes, you can definitely find me on Instagram. Is __ enjoy Regine, or you can just go to my book page, which is just Regine Coney on Instagram, and then my website is www.regineconey.com.
All right, and I'll make sure to add all of her contact information in the show notes and a link to purchase the Elites and Friends Until the End. But overall, thank you so much, Regine, for coming on the show.
You're welcome.
Yes. And again, listeners, if you guys want to listen more to A Shot of Facts, please make sure to like, rate, review, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend, and I will see you guys later. Peace.
Bye.